All right. Well, hello everyone. Let me make sure I'm sharing the proper screen. Okay, I believe I am. Let me double check. Perfect. All right. Hello everyone. I hope you all had a wonderful winter break, and I am happy to welcome you all back to AE 222, which is a continuation of AE 221. Hopefully, you all didn't forget my voice as you will be hearing it all semester. Um, so hopefully I am a recognizable voice to you. All right, so this is going to be a very, very, very quick video on how to, there we go, on how to export multiple sheets into one PDF, just kind of as a review. If you guys already know how to do this, um, you are totally free to skip this video and complete the assignment on your own without my aid. All that's important, and don't worry, I will add it to here. This is just a tentative version of the assignment currently, but I will add it to the assignment what specific sheets from the file for use that I have linked down here that I will want you to export into the PDF. So the sheets that I will want you to export are the basement plan, the first floor plan, the second floor plan, the roof plan, the architectural building elevations, and the architectural enlarged views. So that is 6 sheets that I would like you to export into one PDF. I'm going to go over 2 methods of how you can export this. One method is exporting all 6 sheets directly from Revit into one PDF. And another method is just in case you exported each sheet individually or a couple sheets and then the rest of the sheets or any kind of variation of it. I'm going to show you how I combine them using Bluebeam to create one PDF. The reason that we are doing this video and creating this assignment for the semester is because we will be expecting all of you for all of your Revit submissions to submit one PDF with all of the sheets that we would want from you. We are not we are not trying to accept multiple different PDFs with just one sheet on each of them. We want them all to be combined. This is a skill you should have perfected by now, but just in case, we are giving you one more opportunity. Okay, so to start, you are going to download this Revit file right here that we have attached in the assignment. As I mentioned before, I will edit this assignment to make sure that everyone knows, regardless if they watch this video or not, which specific sheets they will be required to export into one single PDF with this exact naming convention. Okay. It is very important that you follow all of the directions in this assignment. All right. As I mentioned, you're going to download the file and you're going to open it up in Revit. I have mine opened right now. Um, Yours is going to take a little bit. Don't worry about that. Pause the video, let it load, etc. You guys know how to do this. Now, the next thing that we're going to do, there's 2 ways to get to the PDF export button. The first is right up here. It's kind of a little shortcut. In this top ribbon, there is a little red kind of paper with a blue arrow on top that says PDF. You can click that, which will bring you to the PDF export pop-up, or you can go to File, Save As, or sorry, Export File, Export PDF. And once you get to this page, it will also bring up the PDF export. And you are able, most of the time, it's going to automatically put you on current window. However, current window is only going to export what is in your current window. It may be a sheet, it may not be. You don't want that. What you want to do is go to selected views/sheets, and you want to create a um a culmination of sheets have done this already, but I will do it again. So regardless of whichever you pick, these are other sets I have created. The multiple sheet, set one, set two, test one, test two. Um, if you haven't created any sets, it might say in session or it might say all sheets, regardless of what it says. Since we want to select 6 specific sheets for you to export, regardless of what it says here in this drop down, what you want to do is go over to this pencil icon and click it. And what this does is it gives you a list of all of the sheets and views that you can select from in this entire Revit file. Now, this is great. However, to ensure that you are selecting the correct sheets, what you can do is go over here to this kind of second icon from the left. You can go create new empty set. Once you click that button, it's going to prompt you to ask for a name. I can call this exporting multiple sheets. Click OK. And once I do that, now I've created a new set. And again, it's given me all of the sheets and views in the Revit file that I can select to create a set from. Now, this set, what set means is that it is the single PDF document of the sheets that you are supposed to export. In our case, as I mentioned before, and as will be described in the assignment, you are supposed to export a single PDF with 6 sheets on it. The 6 sheets are the basement floor plan, the first floor plan, the second floor plan, the roof plan, the building elevations, and the enlarged views. Now, just in case you were playing around with this file before going through this video and you couldn't remember the names of the specific sheets, but you remembered what they looked like, there's a very handy button down here called Preview that shows you exactly what these sheets look like so you can ensure that you are selecting the proper ones. Now, we know we wanted the basement floor plan. That's the basement floor plan right there. There's the first floor plan once it loads. Yep, there it is. The second, and so on, right? So using this preview button, you are able to see the floor plans that you selected or any of the sheets/views that you selected. For example, I don't want you guys to export the building sections, mainly because that sheet is blank. As you can see in the preview, it's blank and it's not on the list that we want you to export. So you don't have to export it. But as you go down, you can look through with the preview section what exactly these sheets look like to ensure that you are selecting the proper ones. So now that we have them selected, the next thing that we're going to do is click this select button. Once I click that, it's going to prompt me, asking me if I want to save the set. Most of the time I say yes, regardless. Regardless if I want to recreate the set in the future or not, there's no harm in saving it just in case. So I usually say yes. And then now I have that sheet right here in this kind of drop down menu. So I called it exporting multiple sheets, and there it is. You don't have to mess with the drop down menu if you don't want to. Now, the next thing, we're going to go down through this export setup, or sorry, PDF export box, and I'm going to tell you which settings you can mess with or settings that you just kind of just have to leave alone. So export setup, you can leave that alone. That's no big deal. File name, that's where you're going to use the specific naming convention that we emphasized in the assignment. So right now it's last name underscore first name underscore sheet set PDF. So I'm going to name it like that. My last name is Lewis. My first name is Jackie. And sheet set. This is my second version of this, so I'm going to put the number 2. Obviously, it's not your second version, you don't have to use the number 2. And if it is your second version, let's say you messed up your first version, that's okay. You can just save it over. So I'll just save it over. And I'm also going to select the location. So if you go into browse, you are able to select which folder you would like to put this in. I'm putting it in my AE222 practicum folder. You can put it in whichever folder works for you. I'm going to click open. So now it knows the location. The rest of these settings, you don't necessarily have to mess with because everything should be okay. Um, if for another class you need specific quality or a specific size sheet, you can mess with these settings on your own time. But for the case of this assignment, you do not need to mess with that. So the next thing that you're going to do is press the export button. And because I named it the same, I'm going to be saving over it. So I'm going to say yes. I need to close my Bluebeam really quick. There we go. And I'm just going to say yes. So the next thing that is new to Revit 2025 and 2026 is this kind of background PDF exporting little box that they pull up. Um, Again, it's just showing you, telling you that something is exporting. And down here in this bottom right, it will also have a little spinning circle. And it will also pop up a nice little box that tells you when it is done exporting. So I'm just going to wait until that happens. And it should pop up here anytime now of when it will tell me that it is finished exporting. And then it kind of just shows up in a nice little green box. Really cute, really pretty. Should happen any second now. Jeez, taking a little bit. All right. Well, until that happens, I'm going to go through um the second way. Oh, there it is. Okay, PDF export for my file name, which is Lakehouse 2. In this specific case, it says that it's complete. You can click View Files, and it will open up your File Explorer, and it'll take you exactly to the location that you saved it to. As you can see in this location, I have what I saved. I also have some test saves here, right? Um, this test save here, I'm actually going to delete because that is going to be what we're going to come up with our second version. And I'll just resave it. So, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I'm going to show you 2 different methods of creating one singular PDF file that has multiple sheets in it. The first, obviously, was combining everything in Revit and exporting it all together. This is ideally the way that we would like you to be able to do it. However, we understand that sometimes things happen. You might be missing a specific sheet or something like that, and you might not get it all together. In this specific case, I got all 6 of my sheets together, which is ideal, which is nice. They all look pretty good. I got them all. I can go ahead and submit this to Canvas. But let's say I accidentally batch them, the basement plan and the first floor plan, and then the second floor plan, the roof, the elevations, and then the enlarged views. Let's say we batch it like that. And we did not combine them all 6 sheets into one PDF. That's okay. There is another way to combine them outside of Revit instead of exporting the sheets all over again. So that is what I have here in my folder of test 1 and test 2. As you can see, test 1 is just the basement, and let me make sure I put continuous on the basement and the first floor plan. And then you can see that test 2 is once it loads. the second floor plan, roof, elevations, and enlarged views, right? So I have them broken up, but I want to combine them. Now, there is a way to do it outside of Bluebeam altogether. In Bluebeam, you could go and open it up and just copy and paste the sheets in if you would like. Or you can go right here in your File Explorer. And since I already know that my basement plan and my first floor plan are in test one, and then all of my other sheets are in test two, I can go and select both of them. And I select both of them by selecting one, holding down shift and selecting the other. I can select one, two, three, as many files as I want. If I click and I do a right click, and then in my specific case for my Windows, if I go show more options, I'm able to find combine files in RevView. RevView is Bluebeam, as you guys know. Once I do that, it has this kind of little stapler icon. Once I click that, it's going to pop up a little window that shows you the files that you selected. Again, as I mentioned, you can select as many files as you want. And also once you click on them, you are able to reorder them if you would like to. The next step is selecting your output. We want one output file, and this is where you can put your name. So I'm going to use the naming convention, and I'm going to put sheet set. I'm just going to put test at the end just to show that it is different from the other set that we created. The composition is the same, but I just don't want it to save over the other set. And then the last step is selecting your output folder. In my specific case, I saved everything to the folder that I would like it to be saved to in the end. But if you have a different folder, you can pick your folder, use these three little dots to select your location. But I'm using the same source file folder, so I'm just going to keep that checked, and I'm going to click OK. And then again, it's going to show you one last time what sheets or PDFs you are combining into what file name, basically, where it's going to be saved to, and where your other PDFs are coming from. And then also, of course, the application you're using. So I'm going to click Staple. So that's going to combine all of them together. And once I click Staple, it's going to go ahead and open it up in Bluebeam for me. So as we can see, all 6 of my sheets are now stapled together. And they are called, here we go. This is my test, so that's the name that I selected. Those are my test 1 and test 2. It's now been combined into Louis Jackie sheet set test. And then there's my regular Louis Jackie sheet set, which is the exact same as the sheet set test. All right. So either one of these PDFs with the proper naming convention can be submitted to Canvas. You can just close out of this now for now. Let me show you. Once you close out this window, it's already saved, so you don't really have to say save job before exiting. It's already saved, so you can just click no. As you can see, it's still there. And then you can go ahead and submit either one of these files again with the proper naming convention to Canvas. As I mentioned before, I will update this assignment. Right now, it's just tentative because I'm still creating the video. But that is 2 ways that you can create one single PDF that has multiple sheets within it, inside of Revit and outside of Revit. Okay. All right. I will see you guys in the other video.